Good King Baer returns to his throne. Let's have our coronation. They wouldn't dare be restless with me.
Welcome back.
As is tradition, the council will decide what happens at your coronation. Let's call them in. What kind of coronation should be held for the new king? Well, first we got to get him some bear hugs going for Dr. Durden. Any chance my rock-shaped friend is around to say hi? Oh, you mean your good buddy Tommy? This little fella? This little guy? Oh, he loves saying hi. It's his favorite thing to do is say hi. Also get real close. What kind of coronation should be held for the new king? Shall we host a lavish parade with jugglers and fountains of wine? Proceed with the religious ceremony that honors the ninth god? Throw the king into the river? For outdated traditions, there's no need for a coronation at all. It's disconcerting how fast you can reach it. You better goddamn well believe Tommy's within arm's reach 24/7. Not even just during the stream. I'm always ready for Tommy.
A renewal.
Mars the Stone. 8 months on the power. Welcome back in. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Stability raised, authority lowered. It is decided the king will be thrown in the river. A very traditional ceremony dating back to Queen Alma the Wise. The nobles pick you up and carry you out to the Treadwater River, hurling you into the shallow water with a cheer. When you climb back up the banks soaking wet, the Chancellor steps forward and places the crown upon your head. Our path to victory. Your Majesty, when you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? I believe we've done all of them now. Apart from possibly, I remember doing farming early on. I'll try that out again. Well, then again, military's certainly looking pretty good to begin with. I'll be a conqueror. A warrior king, sure to be remembered fondly if he wins more battles than he loses. Improve the kingdom's overall military as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will discuss your ambition. I've done faith before, yeah. Your first duty is to meet with the Council of Nobles. Let's meet the chiefs of the North. Chief Kimau. Good luck in the days ahead, your greatness. You'll need it dealing with us, Lod. Count Picaros. An honor to finally make your acquaintance, your Majesty. May you escape the doom that befell your predecessor. Baroness Prisraka. Hail and well met, your highness. Under your leadership, we'll whip this kingdom into shape. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices, rabble, 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 as the nobles argue with each other and demand your favor. You sigh and sit back. Season 1 complete. Emmy of the Mystic Otter bloodline, powerful marcher general, stands before a blazing hearth. When have the barons of the march backed down from a fight? I know you'll do whatever it takes to put me, your rightful queen, on the throne. Claimant Emmy. What scheme should the barons pursue to overthrow the new king? Are they looking to raise stability, lower others' military, or lower stability? A vote exclusive to the barons of the march. If you're wondering if you're a member of the Barons of the March, well, here's the list. The Barons look to raise stability. Intimidation. The Barons plan to hold the king hostage in his own palace. First, they must lull the spy master into a false sense of security. To advance, their barons must raise stability to 5 or more in 4 seasons. Maj of the Psycho Gamer 24/7 clan. Charismatic political mastermind stands precariously on a longhouse crossbeam. Chiefs of the North, we all know I should be on the throne, not this imposter King Baer. Shall the Psycho Gamer claimant pursue the throne with subterfuge, lowered stability, doppelganger, lowest defiance, or prophecy, raise authority. The vote exclusive to the Chiefs of the North. Here's you lot. The Chiefs of the North look to raise authority. The prophecy. The Chiefs plan to realize an ancient northern prophecy. Before the new queen rises, the kingdom will be ruled by a mad tyrant. Must raise authority to 5 or higher. And finally, the pursuit of the counts. Mazay of the Ninja King dynasty, notorious Eastern elder, leans delicately on a podium, whispering carefully. My fellow counts, in ancient times, the East was its own proud kingdom. We can bring back those days of glory, but not while the false King Baer wears the crown. What scheme should the counts pursue? To place Mazay on the throne, should it be the blood ritual, highest farming, ascension, lower their own faith, possession, lower their own defiance? Certainly makes sense that they'd pursue that which they've already accomplished. Blood ritual it is. Counts plan to summon an ancient famine demon that will devastate all other regions, paving a clear path to the throne. First, they must prove they can withstand a famine. There's another quick overview. So the Barons looking to increase stability. Chiefs of the North looking to raise authority, and Counts of the East hoping to have the highest farming at the end of 4 seasons. Now, for my choice here. Ooh, the Monarch's golden choice. A very powerful option. If nobles vote for this, they gain plus 500 personal wealth. Do a lot to sway folks. Your Grace, I have a brilliant idea. Why don't you hold a Battle Royale to choose your honor guard? If you let us host it in the East, I'll even pay for it. The spectacle will boost our economy massively. And, of course, I'm confident the Eastern Knights will win. Your Majesty, this is pointless. Why don't you just choose your honor guard and have done with it? Hell no, I'm holding the Battle Royale. I gotta take away Blank's money, so he's more inclined to vote for my choices. A week later, you receive word that the Battle Royale is due to begin, held on the battlements of Count Blank's castle. You travel down to spectate along with a horde of murder fans from across the kingdom. You mean just like everyone? Today's competitors are Northern Warrior heroes, Eastern Knights of the Order of the Drowned Rose, and the Baron's battle-hardened veteran soldiers. Who will you support, Your Majesty? Everybody look away. I think our Eastern Knights will surprise you. Watch the fight. The bell rings. The Marcher soldier charges like a bull, his sword already swinging. The Northern Warrior blocks it with his battle axe, grunting with the effort. The Northern Warrior scarcely has time to catch his breath before the Eastern Knight is also upon him, raising her voice in song. Sparks fly as blades clash. The 3 fighters dart back and forth, almost too fast for your eye to follow. Once, twice, a blade finds its mark. Blood sprays, and finally someone stands victorious. It's the Marcher veteran, his scarred face speckled with blood. His opponents lie dead at his feet. Blood and stars. They must have cheated. Or we just got unlucky. Regardless, you have a new honor guard, Your Majesty, but not the one you wanted. With that, the Battle Royale is over. Everyone agrees it was a fine day out for those who survived, and the Eastern Army attracts a new wave of recruits. There will be votes that come up through the course of the game, Mental. It's just not been too many just yet. My liege, the march has been struck with plague. And not just any plague. A dancing plague! Aren't you dancing, then? I haven't been infected yet, of course. Otherwise, I would not be here to risk spreading it, my liege. It affects everyone, even dogs and cats. We don't know how it started, but it's spreading quickly. Whole villages are dancing themselves half to death. Lazarus returns. That's good. What should be done about the dancing plague that has gripped the march? Quarantine the affected villages. Pass a law that forbids dancing. Let it be. How bad is dancing anyway? I certainly like that. May you be swayed by the promise of wealth. Certainly not surprised to see the Chiefs opting for option B here. It's a very nice outcome for them, but clearly I'm looking to go a different direction. And we've done it. Let it be. How bad is dancing anyway? A dancing plague might bring some life to the masses. Why not let it spread? Soon half the kingdom is dancing round the clock as the plague hits other regions, including the capital. Productivity is down and crops are rotting in the fields. But at least everyone appears to be having a good time. Great. And the invitation. Without a word, Count Alanton hands you a blood-red envelope. It is sealed with white wax in the shape of a skull. Inside is a beautifully written invitation to an event called the Crimson Vigil, due to take place on an autumn night later in the year. What is this all about? I can say no more. You must choose whether to accept our invitation or to decline it. I mean, this option seems perfectly valid. Since you're not explaining anything, I'd rather not agree to it. I suppose I'll attend the event. So be it. Auction time. Now that personal wealth is going to come in handy. The library, option A, will increase stability. The theater, option B, will decrease authority. The deer park will decrease farming for the chiefs. The monument, option D, will increase authority. The aqueduct will increase farming for the counts. And the prison, option F, will decrease stability. In order to contribute your personal wealth to any given cause, simply type !fund followed by the corresponding letter for your choice, followed by the amount that you wish to contribute. And you can indeed contribute multiple times to multiple projects. You can also contribute literally any amount, so long as you have the funds. You can contribute 1, you can contribute 999. But for whatever reason, we limit ourselves to 0s and 5s. I appreciate it, honestly, it looks nicer. Increased authority and increased farming, not a big shock there. That will be the threshold met for the Chiefs. For now. Finding a spouse. You found your mother. I've been busy. Give me some candidates. Time for the vigil. The Crimson Vigil takes place in a bleak castle atop an eastern hill. Your journey takes weeks and your baggage train keeps getting stuck in bogs. Guests at the Crimson Vigil compete on who can dress in the most ghoulish and frightening costume. What did you dress as? A dragon with gem-studded wings and a golden tail. The wings get stuck in castle doorways and you keep tripping over the tail, but the counts are in awe at such a display of ostentatious wealth. Hell yeah. Although that's not great. As you're assessing your appearance, Count Alanton sweeps in, dressed as a living corpse. Welcome, welcome. Your costume is extraordinary, Your Highness. Truly, it puts the rest of us to shame. Please remember to stay in the upper levels. The dungeons are out of bounds. In the ballroom, you find the counts gathered, all dressed up as frightful monsters. Wolfmen, pumpkinheads, witches. A waiter glides past, holding a tray of sandwiches. Ooh! A pianist plays a mournful tune. The Crimson Vigil begins at midnight. What role will you take? A mourner? Or are you willing to betray a hound of the betrayer? Do you not have a more prestigious role you can offer me? The most prestigious role is the King in Exile, but that is usually reserved only for counts who have been attending the vigils for many years. I want to be the King in Exile! As you wish, Your Majesty. A word of warning, as the King in Exile, you must wear a flaming crown atop your head. I hope you're not too attached to your eyebrows. I don't know if I could be more attached to my eyebrows. Your ceremonial role is to run from the hounds of the betrayer who will pursue you through the castle. The crown must not go out. The counts gather. After Count Alanton delivers a short speech about remembering the old ways, a flaming crown is placed upon your head. Ouch, hot. Run! The hounds of the betrayer chase after you, howling and yipping. You remind yourself that these are just counts in silly costumes, but they're very absorbed in the role. Better get moving. Oh boy. This is DD2 all over again, yeah. Run up to the ramparts. You clatter up the castle stairs, your tail bouncing around behind you absurdly. Whose idea was this? Suddenly you find yourself wedged in a doorway. Your stupid wings! Oh, damn it. Hoisted by my own petard. The hounds grab you and drag you back to the circle of Mount Mourners downstairs, howling in triumph. It's most undignified. You're dragged into the circle, your crown still smoldering. One by one, the mourners drop to their knees in a posture of worship. Caught me fair and square. The ceremony concludes with a wooden sword being placed against your neck and a bottle of red wine tipped over your head. Apparently, everything went to plan. The counts cheer and clap you on the back. After that, the music is more cheerful. The counts dance and chat long into the night. At dawn, you board your carriage and begin the long journey back to the capital. Well, that was delightful. Nothing terrible happened. Except a waste of wine, but other than that. Baron C. Kling stands before you, hopping frantically from one foot to the other as he speaks. The plague, my liege, it's spreading! Why, I think I've been affected myself! Where did you learn those moves? Now is not the time for jests, my liege. You need to do something or we'll dance ourselves to death. This may look fun, but trust me, it's anything but. The dancing plague is spread to half the kingdom. What can be done? Order the nobles to hide in their castles and wait it out. Hire a wizard to sort it out. Or infect the nobility as a show of solidarity. Oh, I like that. I mostly just want this to happen, to be honest with you. I don't really care about the outcome. Let's all get dancing fever. Doop, 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 doop. I don't even know if I needed to give you the personal wealth for it, but you're welcome, I guess. Yeah, we all seem to be on the same page here. Look at these fools passing up free money. Silly barons in their pursuit of actual goals. Infect the nobility. Not everyone's keen to show solidarity. Still, it's the best way of showing the peasants that you're all in this together. You dance your way to the council chambers every day, and then dance your way to dinner, and then dance back to bed. In your sleep, your feet do a little jig. That's gonna burn a lot of calories, dude. Eventually, the plague runs its natural course. Now, though, even the hint of a jaunty tune sends half the population into a frenzied panic. Many will never dance again. Well, they had a good run. Far to the north, where snows blanket the landscape and wolves howl in the night, the chiefs uncover an ancient prophecy foretelling the rise of a tyrant king and the warrior who will overthrow him. A congregation of God speakers huddle around the tablets detailing the supposedly ancient story, whispering excitedly. Praise Morgana, the tablets are genuine. And the gods are good, and we are blessed. Mag will be our queen. All hail the Lord Render. Cheers circle the clan hall. A mug of ale is tipped over Mag's head. The influence of the old gods is spreading. We must ensure we keep the old ways of the North alive, and surely Morgana will bless us with the power to crown Mag. For the next stage of the Chief's scheme, they must lower their faith to 4 or less in 4 seasons. That seems doable. That seems achievable. The counts discover treasure worth 500 wealth in a long-abandoned crypt. Can I have some? I'd like some of that. Here come the taxes. Yeah, you know what's coming. You know damn well what's coming. Give me all that. Cruel taxes for all. Hey, it's balanced, right? It's fair. It's only fair. Your Greatness, I'm afraid someone has been painting obscene graffiti on your monument in the north. What do you mean obscene? It describes you as a tyrant. And in addition, there are images. The obscene kind. Be specific. I'd rather not. We're all adults here. Please, Your Highness, I'd rather not discuss such vile matters in front of the count. Give me details, damn it. Sorry for pressing the matter. I assume it's been washed off by now? Aye, Your Highness, but every time we remove the images, they appear again the next day. We need to track down the perpetrator. You're becoming a laughingstock in the north. When you call the council to gather, some of the nobles whisper behind their hands, stifling giggles. Chief Victokip was right. What can be done about the obscene graffiti being painted on the statue of the King of the North? Brutally crack down on the locals until the perpetrator is found. Send the Watch to investigate without drawing attention to themselves. Offer a reward for the perpetrator's capture? This is nothing to worry about. Suppose I do want to decrease stability still, don't I? I could take authority for that. Seems good. You want some of your money back? That I just cruelly stole directly from your pockets? Give you a little trickle. Nothing to see here. Those dicks are part of the statue. It's an artistic choice. Respect it. Your soldiers storm the local village, shouting and kicking people until they get the answer they're looking for. The culprit is a local artist protesting your recent refusal to become their patron. Your refusal was totally justified. Other than certain parts of the anatomy, which are bizarrely detailed, their artwork is slapdash and sloppy. The artist is thrown into your dungeons to think about what he's done, and hopefully practice drawing more wholesome parts of the body. However, your over-the-top reaction has made you even more enemies in the north. Oh boy. Bad news, Your Majesty. The northern villagers are starving. Is that true, Kong? Predictable eye, but in their starvation, they've turned to foraging for ice mushrooms to survive. This particular variety is delicious and filling, but makes one very ill. After a brief recovery, all seems well. I don't like where this is going. The next morning, the unfortunate soul rises from their bed in a fugue state, wandering the streets as though touched by a demon. Then they drop dead. This mushroom is so dangerous that my servants are calling it the sixth god's bane. It sounds rather useful. Oh, well, I couldn't comment on that. If we can't get more food in the north, we should at least tell the peasants what this sixth god's bane looks like. What should be done? Pay the chiefs to harvest mushrooms for the spymaster. The other nobles must send aid to the north, or ensure the people know how to recognize the sixth god's bane. Well, that ain't gonna work. Honestly, either one of these seems like it'd be beneficial. Could go either or here. A little more wealth in the Chiefs' pockets via option A. They seem pretty keen on that. Well, not really, actually. Kind of evenly split. The harvest does little for the starving peasants, but at least the sixth god's bane is no longer on the menu. In the meantime, the spymaster hoards the mushrooms, distilling them down carefully until a deadly poison remains. Iron-fisted authority. I found 3 potential matches for you. Let's see them. She whisks away the cloth from the first portrait. This is Eric, firstborn heir of the northern WRX Killer GM clan. That sounds like an Xbox Halo clan from back in the day. They're your typical northern lad, big, brawny, and honest. In the same way an axe to the face is honest. They keep the company of witch women and god speakers who have taught them mysterious secrets. Had a bit of controversy a while back when their clan hall burned down. Apparently their peasants were to blame. This is Koldon, the eldest son of the Eastern Mr. Tanuki dynasty. Apparently they had a hell of a time getting him to smile for this portrait. Yeah, they didn't do a great job of it. He had a laboratory installed in his castle and spends most of his time there conducting bizarre experiments. Half the East are in love with him, apparently, and the other half hate him. And finally, we have the March's offering. Helaman, scion of the prestigious Pond Jugular bloodline. A typical Baroness, really. Loud, brash, and self-absorbed, but mostly well-meaning. Like most of the Barons, her great passion is hunting. No beast is safe from her crossbow. Oh, and she's not popular with the peasantry. Something about her sets their teeth on edge. Does seem as though I should probably go with the chiefs here. Try to make them a little happier. Show me Eric of WRX Killer GM. That's the one. Eric of the North. Looking forward to a W. Season complete. Ah, the Monarch's Iron choice as well. That's an interesting one. Swing votes is always fun. Let's go with that. A contentious sale. Chief Stuck-Up Beach. Your greatness, this is an outrage. Count Dark 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 is trying to steal my bear from under my nose. Did you say bear? Not there, Baer. I was about to buy this beast from an adventurer in the Tatterlands when Chief Stuck-Up Beach turned up shouting and raving about Skuranorn. Skuranorn's back. This must be a matter for the council. If this bear is not brought to the north where she belongs, there will be trouble. What should be done with this potentially sacred bear? Lowered faith is not a pursuit we are interested in. Suppose I'm not too
Welcome back.
torn on what to do here. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all decide. Direct to you! Bear Hugs! Thanks for the 30 months on the pile. Welcome on back. Now, Finders Keepers just seems silly. It's a sacred bear, for God's sake. But I do like a bidding war. I'm all about a bidding war. And this one, that's logical, I guess. You get a pass. The chiefs gratefully purchased the bear for an extortionate amount from the Tatterlands adventurer who can't believe her luck. Naturally, the counts aren't happy to have lost their potential zoo exhibit, but there's little they can do. Bear turns out to be a fearsome creature with bright white fur and intent green eyes. And she's vast. Even on all fours, she stands taller than a wagon. Transported north slowly and carefully, sedated by special herbs and followed by a stream of worshipping villagers. Chief Stuck-Up Beach is delighted that Skuranorn's will has been done. Yeah, you got your bear back. My liege, I've been thinking. Is that so totally educated? Marcher soldiers are without peer, but our armies could always be stronger. What we really need are better horses, but the best don't come cheap. The Ishmedians have a surplus of destriers at the moment, horses bred for war. Perhaps the crown could go halvesies with the barons to acquire some, for the good of the kingdom, of course. Should the crown purchase Ishmedian destriers on behalf of the barons? Trying to remind myself here, the counts are the ones looking for the highest farming, right? I don't know if there's much we can do about that. Do I want to veto? Yeah, I think I want to veto that. It's always fun to roll the dice. I don't know, maybe purchasing the horses could lead to some interesting results, too. Oh, not to mention I do want to increase the military. But at the cost of over half the treasury, that's a tall order. Looks like we're rolling them dice. Encourage the barons to breed their own destriers in the march. So be it. The barons get to work learning everything they can about horse husbandry and the best breeding techniques. Hopefully you'll see positive results by next foaling season. I anticipate we will. Your wedding to Eric is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Eric at your side. I do indeed take this person as my lawfully wedded spouse. Hooray! Bear clap, bear clap. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast. Your new spouse, Eric, delivers a short but heartfelt toast expressing a wish to get to know you better. By the time you find yourself alone, it's past midnight and you've never felt more tired. I miss the north. It's too warm down here. And people twist their words. They don't mean what they say. What do you mean? Everyone down here speaks in circles, insulting each other without really insulting each other. I don't know how you can stand it. Yeah, you get used to it. I suppose you were born into it, weren't you? You had no choice but to get used to it. After finishing the last of the wine, you head to your separate bedchambers. Seems your spouse is happy to take their time getting to know you. You're keeping it real, huh? Deep in the forests of the March, Baron Andre Dake, hope I got that right, has gone boar hunting with a few of his close friends. Bad news, friend. The spy master's still watching us like a mother bear watching her cubs. Give me a crossbow and I'll shoot the damn bear. Stick its head up on my wall. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We need to pretend to be harmless until the time comes to strike. There, argument. Barons still aim to raise stability to 5 or more. Late at night, 2 counts meet at an ancient stone cemetery to discuss their schemes against the king. Our grain stores are looking much more impressive than the rest of the kingdom, says Count Vacheron. Count Alarnir. Yes, and I've had peasants from the north moving onto my lands desperate to sponge up our prosperity. How exquisite. But won't summoning this demon be difficult? It's magic beyond our usual fare. The walls of reality are sturdy, but they can be weakened. The tide of blood must swallow this kingdom in its wake. Chaos. Counts must lower stability to 4 or less in 2 seasons, a direct contrast with the aims of the barons. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And of course, the chief's still just sitting pretty down here with 0 faith. Requisitioning rare reagents.
Baer, I've come to ask a favor. I recently purchased a very rare reagent for one of my alchemical studies. A rare eastern herb known as Sashara's Tears. Unfortunately, it's been delayed. I was buying it from Countess Tulemony. It'd be a great favor to me if you could chase it up on my behalf.
I'll look into it. You summoned Countess Tulemony to the council chambers the next day to talk in private. Greetings, Your Majesty. What can I do for you? I hear you have something from my spouse. Lamentably, I can't give you the specimen just yet. This is embarrassing, but the package was damaged in transit. Improper preservation measures and all that. I've already disciplined my lowborn for the mistake, naturally. But the flower is already ruined, crushed beyond recognition, I'm afraid. I'm trying to source another specimen, but Sashara's Tears are very rare indeed. I'll see if anyone else has one to sell. You're more than welcome, Your Grace, but I'll warn you, only I offer a price so low. She's not lying. The The only other specimen you can find is being sold by Count Tromschwinge for a much higher price. Oof. Yeah, I think I can hold off on that. Countess Tulemni sends out her peasants on a hunt for a new specimen, but it's fruitless. After some months of endless searching, Eric comes to you in private.
Not to worry, my king. I'll find another experiment to do. At least you tried.
That's fairly harmless, okay. Your Highness, I've come to submit a complaint about the Counts of the East. Lately, they've been neglecting their tithes. Not a debt collector. What do you think the common folk will blame if the church starts failing? Me? No, Your Highness, they'll blame you alone. Especially if I tell my priest to spread word that you refuse to help a holy man in need. Oh, fine. I do enjoy telling you to go away, you irritating old fart, but I don't think I can manage that this time. The worst offender is Countess Esri. She hasn't paid her tithe in years. I want an example to be made of her. What should be done about the counts refusing to pay their tithes to the church? Very interesting choices here. Order the counts to pay their tithes in full. Toss Countess Esri in the dungeon as an example to the rest. Boy, we can't be at stability 4.5, huh? That stinks. The count should be exempt from paying tithes. I don't know if I like that. Or do nothing to address the problem. That seems very diplomatic of me. Let's see. What would be my best choice? To be honest, I feel like I ought to do that. I like my authority, after all. Makes me feel safe. I'm quelling any potential rebellion. The 0 underneath order the counts to pay their tithes in full. We're a heathenist lot, aren't we, Pyle? I wouldn't have it any other way. Toss Countess Esri in the dungeon as an example to the rest. What? Just because I'm not paying my tithes? No, you can't do this to me! Oh, yes, we can. Hands behind your back, you faithless scum. After that, the rest of the counts pay their tithes promptly. The Archbishop is most grateful, and his priests preach of your faith. Big boost. The faith of the counts, +3. Yeah, that is an unusually high amount. Your Grace, we're being overrun! Countess Necoflorial says. Not by sword and spear, mind you, but by hogs! A particularly virulent breed of wild Tavillanese hogs, to be precise. They terrorize our farmland and forests alike. They even attack our farmers when they're feeling particularly brave. The council must do something. Wild dogs running the streets. And what should be done about the hogs taking over the east? Introduce a new species to prey on the hogs. That always works. Leave this be. It's just nature taking its course. Call a great culling to deal with this. Or arm the farmers with weapons to fight off the menace. I like that idea. That seems like it might go well. Hogs versus hands. Who wins? Take heed, this is swine country. Yes, indeed. +2. Yeah, I'd very much like to arm the farmers. Farm the armors. Farm the arms for the farmers. There we go. The counts call on their reserves to donate any weapons they can. The farmers are delighted. With their new weapons, they beat back the encroaching hogs with ease. Some even take to hunting the hogs for food. And the wild animals become a new staple of Eastern cuisine. Pork's back on the menu, boys. The East is about to be very boorish. Very nice. Big pig for all, yes indeed. Auction time. Option A, the Grand Bazaar will increase trade for the barons. Option B, the library will increase stability. Option C, the aqueduct will increase farming for the chiefs. Or to increase the chiefs' military, vote for option D, the fortress. A decrease in faith comes from the observatory, option E, for the counts. And finally, a vote to decrease stability may be made via the prison, option F. Contradictory efforts yet again. But it looks like it'll most likely be both, to the chagrin of every individual who decided to contribute to these causes. And no other one looking even remotely possible. As we'll have a canceled out effect here of an increase and decrease in stability, and that's just a lot of money gone down the freaking drain, dude. Whoa. Blasphemy. Your Highness, an urgent matter. My agents suspect there's a reason behind the recent unrest. The counts are stirring up chaos to power some kind of dark ritual. What sort of ritual? We don't know yet. They've been too careful, but we must fight back against this sacrilege. How can the church crack down on the Count's demonic activity? Oh boy. Order kingdom-wide curfews to calm things down. That might have to be it. As the barons remain on their initial goal, actually, yeah, I'm thinking that's probably the way we want to go. Does seem as though there's not a lot of need for my influence here either. Of course, the counts are going to be voting to be left to their petty business, but yeah, I got a sneaking suspicion the barons and chiefs got something to say about that. Ooh, a coordinated effort, though, from the counts of the East. But it won't be enough. Few citizens approve of the curfew, but things do settle down throughout the kingdom. We can only hope it's enough to stop the counts. Defiance increases across the kingdom. Pagan Prophecies. The Northern Chief's God Speakers have uncovered an ancient prophecy. What do I care? As much as I appreciate your devotion to the ninth god, this is quite important. What she means to say is the chiefs plan to use the prophecy to justify unseating you. True or not, many Northerners believe it. Oh, ninth above. Quite. The prophecy tells of an authoritarian king who's overthrown by a northern warrior, the savior of the pagans, known by names such as the Thronebreaker, the Sword of Valtor, or the Lord Render. That's you, by the way, the authoritarian king, not the Lord Render. The prophecy calls for the collapse and death of all false gods, including the ninth, whom Nelquist will lead into a bubbling cauldron disguised as a magical pond. This is sounding very heretical. Worse than heresy, Your Majesty. It's a lie. We must strengthen the church in the north. Besides falsifying their prophecy, it might even save a few misguided northerners. The pagans still blindly worship their old gods, however. If we don't act soon, the kingdom will be lost. How should the kingdom combat the prophecy that is spreading in the north? Order priests to go north and decry the prophecy as false. Invent a counter-prophecy. Or allow the prophecy to spread. I want to believe it anyway. Oh boy. I think I have to do this. I have to count on the combined effort here. Simply to delay the scheme for a season. yeah, if we were to go with A there, to be honest, it would have only been detrimental to, well, I think maybe only the, well, I don't know if anyone's happy with that, actually. That would have been very good at all. Obviously, the Chiefs would be thrilled, but yeah, that might be the only way to handle this right now. Invent a counter prophecy. You have your scholars and theologians? Yeah, that sounds right, theologians. Discover another prophecy which contradicts the first, written on older stone tablets found on the same archaeological site. The northern commoners are not sure who to believe. You've bought yourself more time. The chief's stat goal will not be evaluated until the end of the next season. Theologians, there we go, thank you. Your marriage to Eric has grown stale. Well, you get along well enough and you made some good memories together, but there's no spark. They care more about their stupid alchemical experiments than your happiness. Spark or no spark, you still need an heir. Went about as well as could be expected. Still got the crown on your head, that's what matters. You've done well so far, but something's missing. You need someone whose loyalty is assured. You know, I'll make my youngest cousin my heir. I'm determined my spouse and I will have a child together. We'll find a way. Surrogates are a thing. Our plans are going better than expected. The spymaster thinks that all is well in the kingdom. While the cat's away, the mice shall play. Cats aren't best for getting rid of mice. You're better off with a terrier. I think you missed the point of the analogy, but either way, our next step is to replace the palace watch with our own agents. Should be easy enough. If the king can't pay them, the watch will look for money elsewhere. The barons must lower the treasury to 1,500 or less in 2 seasons. Thank goodness I was cruel with my taxation. A pair of counts face each other in silence. A code word is exchanged. They speak of their latest schemes. What happened? The kingdom was meant to be a whirlpool of chaos by now, says Count Vacheron. Count Alarnair, it's more likely a whirlpool of smiles and hugs. No demons will come anywhere near it. Counts remain aiming to lower stability to 4 or less. Boy, I don't know if there's much I can do about this prophecy. I think it's already done. More taxes, you say? Don't mind if I do. Thank you. Whoopsie. Whoopsie daisy. A hungry bear. That's very accurate, actually. Our wondrous bear is thriving in the north, your highness, just as Skuranorn would wish. The god speakers have gained visions of new herbs and medicines ever since she arrived. The gods are good. Excellent news. The only thing is that she's eating a lot. Our hunters have to push into the frozen waste to find enough food to go around. Having second thoughts, are you? Perhaps the bear would do better in a nice cozy menagerie, The sacred bear has put a dent in northern food supplies. Can the council help? Oh boy. I see that treasury. I see that treasury hit. Let's see. Unfortunately, there's 2 options for lowering stability here as well. I think we do this. I want to keep my money. Let the Chiefs feed their own damn bear. 5% success rate. That might as well be 100 in our eyes, right? Demand the other nobles donate their crops. That would certainly be the most fair solution. Will actually balance things out fairly well. Grumbling, the nobles gather their crops and send them to the chiefs to help them support their sacred bear. She grows sleeker and happier by the day. There's a lot of defiance, though. As do the chiefs, who take their choicest cuts of meat and ripest vegetables for themselves. They sure are happy, aren't they? All across the land, peasants start to wonder openly why a bear is being given special treatment over the people. You'd think I'd prefer what benefits the bear, right? Yeah, I mean, he seems pretty happy, though. Death of Fish. My liege, I have a proposition for you. As we all know, you're the greatest king who ever lived, but you've been locking a lot of people up. Which is your right, of course. And lock them up! How dare you make people aware of that? Many of them are the pettiest of criminals. There are thousands locked up for illegally dumping human waste, for example. Well, if they shit in the street, they probably deserve to be in a dungeon cell. Most of them would make good laborers and farmhands, which we sorely need in the march. Perhaps we can work out a deal. Should the council accept the offer from Baer and Death of Fish to turn small-time prisoners into laborers for the march? I would like more money. Can I sway you? I do like increasing the treasury. Money, money, money. Yo, King of the Castle game. Hello. Good to have you. Welcome, everybody. Long live the monarch. Good old King Baer. Just in time, go ahead and exclamation point join. Thanks for the raid, devs, I assume. And thanks for making a really cool game. We like this a lot. We've been playing quite a bit over here. Coin changes hands, and soon a large number of the so-called criminals are sent to the march to work the fields. I am loaded. The barons are grateful for your patronage, and the marcher crops thrive thanks to all the extra fertilization. Looking good. Where's the last one? Oh, there it is. Rogue Golem. Baron Lusiki. A rogue golem has crossed into our territory over the Ashmedian border, my liege. This could be an exciting opportunity. What's so exciting about it? Please, my liege, this is our chance to figure out how this golem magic works. We could even turn it against Ashmead. Your Majesty, the barons would drown their own grandmothers to gain an advantage over Ashmead. Is this true, barons? Or over the chiefs and counts? Golems are an offense to the ninth god, and they're dangerous. We should destroy it before it gets out of control. At least you're honest. What should be done with the rogue Ashmedian golem that has crossed into the march? Swing vote! Hit it! If you knew our grandmothers, you'd understand. That's good. You're the one with the grandpa in the well. Fair point! Putting me on blast. How you doing down there, Grandpa Baer? It's been a minute. You alive? Grandpa Baer! I'm just checking on you. I wanted to make sure you're okay. You good? You hungry? Yeah, that's too bad. Anyway. Destroy it? Oh, boy. So be it. By the 9th, this was our only chance to even the playing field between us and Ashmead. You're all fools! The errant golem is smashed to pieces with hammers. I mean, if you could smash it with hammers, it wasn't all that strong in the first place, was it? I think we did y'all a favor, believing in a false god. Far to the north, an ancient ceremony in a smoky clan hall reaches a fever pitch. Mag, the chief's claimant, sits atop a throne of bones, bone of thrones, surrounded by god speakers, chanting in a forgotten tongue. And thus, with Morgana as my witness, I hereby crown you the queen in the north, the Lord Render, soon to be queen of all the kingdom. Glory to the Lord Render, chosen of Valtor. Glory to Morgana in the north. The assembled chiefs roar in chorus with each other. Steins are smashed against one another in celebration. Now we must bring down the false king in the south and fulfill the prophecy. The only question is, how? How should the chiefs bring down the false King Baer and fulfill the prophecy? Lure the king to the north and sacrifice him in a pagan ritual, the goal to lower their own defiance. Or sacrifice thousands of goats to the old gods and call upon them to intervene. with the goal of raising their own farming. Vote exclusive to the chiefs of the north. Unsurprisingly, looking to lower their own defiance, which is currently at 0. Looking good for the chiefs. So it is destined, so it will be. Spread the word to all Morgana's children. The throne breaker has risen, and the false king will fall. But first we drink, in honor of the gods. More cheers are up throughout the clan hall. Come morning, there will be a lot of work to do. For the final stage, the chiefs must lower to the... it's got to be a 1 or less. All right, so we can make it maybe do a little something about that. Let's see here. Good reverse voting just to fuck with people. Call for unity, maybe. I'm actually pretty happy with my current 3. I feel like these are the most impactful. We'll stick with that. Defiance is too high. One or more regions considering rebellion. A plot uncovered. I've held him off as long as I can, Your Majesty. But Baron Kaikeiko insists on an audience. Apparently it concerns the end of the world. Though, privately, I think he's gone off the deep end. We've not much time, Your Majesty. Let me present to you my grand theory. What I call the Schematica Maxima. Remove this confused person. Of course you persecute me. This fits right into my model. The rot goes all the way to the top. Before he can continue, the Palace Watch yank him away with enthusiasm. Surprisingly, the rest of the barons barely react to the arrest, instead looking quite relieved. Rip Baron Kaikeiko. So much for your puny rebellion. Great news! The new foals have come in, and our horse breeding program has proven successful. They're stronger than ever. Of course, they'll take a few years to reach maturity, but my fellow barons are very optimistic. A new generation of mighty war horses awaits. And what about the rest of us? Giving the barons a monopoly on war horses is irresponsible, I say. You can't trust them. Should the barons be made to share the new foals they've raised? I'm looking to increase the defiance of the chiefs. This would be the one. I do like money. I was hoping that would sway you. Might you be interested in this giant comical sack of gold I'm presenting as an option? Wow, actually, yeah, that does look pretty good. He's just gonna tax it back. Shh, quiet. This is a dangerous prospect. Those barons can't be trusted at the best of times, and once their horses are grown, everyone will have to be looking out for their borders. What a load of baloney. These horses will be protecting the kingdom's borders, which is more than you'll ever do. The ceremony of friendship. Your Highness, too long have we let tension simmer between us. We're citizens of the same kingdom, are we not? I just want to assure you the chiefs are loyal despite the rumors. And to prove it, let's hold a ceremony of friendship where we renew our feudal vows. What does that involve? Soap dish, Nick. It's basically a big party followed by a renewal of our vows of loyalty. This is a chiefs-only affair, by the way. Other regions are not invited. Though unfortunately, we still need council approval to open the treasury's purse strings. How should the chief's ceremony of friendship be conducted? Declare a day of public celebration across the kingdom. The king shall attend a private chiefs-only party. Ceremony of friendship? Sounds like a waste of time. Well, I certainly don't want option B. I do like parties, but mostly not ones that I have to pay for exclusively. I think a day of public celebration could be in order, though. Well, the counts certainly don't seem to feel that way. The Baron's jumping at the opportunity to drain the treasury whenever possible, unsurprisingly. Well, it might work against their interests a little bit. A day of public celebration across the kingdom. Across the kingdom, workers down their tools for the day to celebrate the enduring friendship of the chiefs and the king. Meanwhile, you lead the chiefs on a public procession through the capital. As the sun sets, oh, that's... See, I was confused, too. I genuinely thought that was going to be defiance increased for the chiefs for some reason, but makes a lot of sense that it's not now that I see the outcome. As the sun sets, the chiefs kneel before you in the city square and repeat their feudal vows. You anoint each of their foreheads with a dab of sacred oil. They rise to their feet again and embrace you one by one. Well, shit. Somewhere in the march, Baron Andre Dake sits at a banquet gnawing on a greasy chicken leg. He and his fellow plotters discuss their scheme between mouthfuls. The Palace Watch won't accept our bribes. The treasury's practically overflowing. They don't need our money. I suppose they ran straight to the spy master to blab about it, too. Damn our luck! Is this the end? The best investments are never profitable to begin with. We'll bide our time and strike again when the king least expects it. It's gonna be tough. Well, it's pretty clear we're needing a coordinated effort to try to prevent the chiefs from running away with this. But it may be a little too late. Your Majesty, most exciting news today. The Northern Chiefs recognize the turbulent state of the kingdom. Even so, they've decided to throw their full weight behind you, for better or worse. What a coup. They've invited you to sign an accord of friendship and witness their commitment of unwavering loyalty in a special ceremony. Some kind of northern custom involving a blood oath. Is this necessary? A letter of fealty would have sufficed. Your Majesty, if I may disagree, Northerners take their traditions very seriously. Entertain them for a short while, and you'll gain a valuable ally. I've taken the liberty of arranging the trip. Chief D'Antanamo Bay and Royal Consort Eric were most helpful with the preparations. But it's so cold up there! Don't fret, Your Majesty. During the summer, the weather is quite mild. You'll be leaving at the end of the week. I don't see any reason for delay. Before you head north, however, you make sure to check in with Eric.
Watch they don't sacrifice you in a crazy pagan ritual. But seriously, enjoy my homeland and say hi to my family if you see them, dear.
I'm worried it might be some kind of trap.
A trap? Don't be silly, love. If the chiefs didn't like you, they'd tell you to your face. Trust me, I'd know. Bring me a souvenir, maybe? I could really do with a new winter coat. The ones down here just aren't the same.
The journey north is long and arduous. After your carriage gets stuck in the mud a third time in as many days, I wonder if maybe you should have diverted more funds to northern infrastructure. Such a pleasure to see you, Your Greatness. I hope the ride wasn't too difficult. How are you finding the north so far? It's rubbish. Though he tries to hide it, his face twitches in annoyance. Then he forces a laugh. Your Highness, allow us to change your mind. We've got food and drink laid out for you, some of the North's best meats. Do tuck in. The food is pretty good, and music's not bad either. But you're not sure what the bard is singing about half the time. This food's delicious. My greatest thanks, Your Highness. We do pride ourselves on a good feast here in the North. Just wait until after the ceremony. That's where the real fun begins. Almost as soon as you polish off your meal, Chief D'Antanamo Bay summons you out in the cold. You find a mass of chiefs circling a gigantic barren oak tree. In the distance, the northern godspeaker chants a deep droning incantation in a language you don't understand. Where do I stand? Right over there, Your Majesty. Just underneath the tree, right underneath that giant bucket of blood. Perfect. You stand beneath a tree beside a chanting godspeaker. You spot a dagger in her hand, but no sign of a goat or cow or any other sacrificial creature. Now then, chiefs of the North, it's time to take your oath. Do you all swear your fealty to the one true queen from now until your dying breath? The chiefs respond with raucous shouts of approval. Eh? By the old gods, I do, says Chief Blatant 15. Hold on a minute. I'm the king, not the queen. Then raise your axes with me, siblings, and let us bear witness to the start of a new age. The Lord Render, chosen of Valtor, will now be bathed in the blood of the pretender. Wait, what? Just then, the God Speaker grapples you from behind. As her knife kisses your throat, you try to shout. Only a gurgle comes out. Your Marcher veterans leap into action as soon as they realize what's happened. But it's too late to save your life. Ha! A fight! Kill the false king's lapdogs, Chief, and we'll bathe in their blood as well. For glory! As fighting breaks out all around you, you collapse to the ground. Just as you're on the edge of consciousness, Mag, the chosen of Valtor, ambles up to you, kneeling over your body. The king is dead. Long live the queen. There it is. Yeah, Chiefs kind of ran away with that one, huh? As Mag bathed in King Baer's blood, a bolt of lightning struck the sacred oak, splitting it in two. It was a sign from the old gods. The Lord Render has risen. The Barons' attempt to worm their way into the palace was uncovered, and a number of arrests were made. Baron Andre Dake ended his life chained upside down to a dungeon wall. Rushing to complete the scheme, the counts attempted their blood ritual too early. The summoned demon escaped their control and slaughtered dozens, including Mazet and Count Alarnier. That just seems like a low blow to the defeated team. Mag, the Lord Render, marched south at the head of an army. Valtor was with her. The throne was seized by force, and the power of the old gods could never be denied again. Well, hey, at least we didn't leave it in a totally irredeemable state, right? That seems like a kingdom we could come back to. Zinnia remains our wealthiest noble. And there's our final stats. The faithless chiefs, the prosperity of the counts, and the military might of the barons remains intact. Good stuff. Certainly seen bigger disasters. Yeah, that wasn't too bad overall. All right, that was fun. Good stuff. Normally we'd do back-to-back games, but I don't have nearly enough time today if I'm going to try to work in the third item on the docket, so that'll wrap up King of the Castle for the day. That was a lot of fun, though. I'm almost certainly going to be playing more